Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and I realize that I suck at video game hunting. And this is a realization that I come to every time I see other game collectors go out and they hunt and they get these large hauls of video games. They find these amazing stacks, these amazing bundles, and they're able to get these games for pennies on the dollar. And I realize every time I see these things that, I suck. I suck at hunting retro video games. I really do. Or video games in general. I'm just not good at it. I think there was a point during the height of the pandemic when I was actually game hunting more frequently, when I felt like there was some sort of skill that I had, for it. But when I watch someone like an Easy Gamers, I realize that I am at level, 3, and he is at level 9,500. And if you've never heard of Easy Gamers, go check his channel out. He does these game hunting runs all across Southern California, and he picks up an enormous amount of games. But there's something that I realize that I do have, and it is luck. I have been incredibly lucky, and I have been consistently lucky over a number of years now. And I say that because for a person who game hunts as little as I do at this point, because honestly, I don't even really game hunt anymore. All I do and all I've done for the majority of this year is I've pretty much visited 3, maybe 4 Game Stops, and I only go to these Game Stops when I'm in the process of running errands or if I'm doing something that's in the vicinity of those Game Stops. 85% of the time, that's when I stop at those Game Stops. There, 15% of the time, I might make a dedicated run to a Game Stop to see what they have, but the overwhelming majority of the time, I'm really only stopping into GameStop when I'm doing something in the area. The other thing is I don't even go to thrift stores. I barely go to pawn shops. I've probably gone to a mom and pop game store maybe 3 times this year. And I've probably gone to the thrift store maybe a handful of times, maybe 4 or 5 times at best this year. I really have not put a lot of time, energy, and effort into finding games. But despite not putting in that amount of time and effort, each time I do go, I have been able to walk away with a really good deal, in my opinion, right? And I'm always finding things that I just don't normally, I would normally wouldn't find. And I've even had some success online with like eBay and Mercari. Somehow, just miraculously, when I log on to eBay, someone's selling a game that I've always wanted for like 40% off, or something like that. And no one else has bid on it yet, or no one else has purchased it yet, and I'm able to snag it up. I mean, a couple examples, and this is over the past few years, but like one of the best examples of luck is being able to buy. I bought this bundle off of Mercari for like 100 or $120, and the bundle included a like new complete in box PlayStation 2 with like 5 or 6 PlayStation 1 games and another 6 or 7 PlayStation 2 games. And the like new complete in box PlayStation 2 kind of just paid for the bundle, but somehow in that bundle was a complete, like, amazing condition copy of Silent Hill. Now I don't. This was a little bit earlier though, not earlier, but this was like kind of more around the height of the pandemic. So I think you still had a lot of people out there who didn't know what they had in terms of value, so they were just like posting things to get rid of it. But this is a prime example of me just jumping on Mercari randomly and just getting lucky and snagging the deal. And this this find, it took me a matter of 6 minutes to find it, add it to my cart, purchase it, maybe even less, maybe like 45 seconds, and I had an amazing deal. That's luck, right? Or the time that I walked into GameStop randomly and they had this complete inbox copy of Pokemon XD with the poster, right? Like, with the poster, and just random, just being able to run into that And at the time, I think I got this for like 95 bucks maybe, or it wasn't much over 100 if at all. And obviously a lot of people know what Pokemon XD goes for. That's luck, you know? Or the few times that I have gone to the thrift store, like sometimes when I go to the thrift store, I'm not always going to the thrift store looking for games. A lot of times I'm really looking for like cable components, like AC adapters. I try to find like all the little knickknacks because I still play my games on original hardware. And I know a lot of times this hardware will fail. So like if I can find extra controllers, extra cables, extra AC adapters, anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and buy that stuff. And what I realized that is with one of my game stores, sometimes they'll get in consoles and they don't like the workers don't really know about video games. So they'll pair like a PlayStation 4 controller with like a PlayStation 3, or like a PlayStation 2 controller with a PlayStation 4, or they'll just mix and match all types of equipment, like not really knowing what's going on. Or if the person donating, like let's say a person donates their entire like Wii bundle, they may put like the Wii console and like the Wii remotes in behind the counter, but they'll put like the AC adapter, they'll put like the sensor bar, they'll put like all the other stuff out on the floor because in their mind, I guess they're not considering that to be like important. And every once in a while, you'll catch them slipping, and you'll just find random components to video games. Sometimes they're worthless, sometimes they're worth stuff. But like, like I've picked up even, like some AC adapters. Like I know not a lot of people think this is important, but for someone like me, like finding a PlayStation 2 um uh RCA or RFU adapter, finding one for the PlayStation 3 is rare because most TVs, not most, but a lot of TVs don't even have the coax port anymore. So when I find these, I do grab them because I have TVs with the coax port. And to me, it's just important to have these types of cables because I feel like these cables are going to become more and more rare. You don't really see them anymore. So I've picked up stuff like this, or randomly, like they'll have behind the counter, they'll have not behind the counter, but like in the junk stuff, like they won't know what this is. They won't have realized that this is an actual like broadband adapter for the GameCube. But to them, they're just probably thinking it's like a little phone jack thing. So they'll throw this in the pile back there, not really realizing what this is. So I'll find little pieces of stuff like this, or like, the game, I think this is the Game Boy player. Like you'll find stuff like this randomly just in the like junk section of the thrift store. And you don't always find that, but like I'll get lucky and find stuff like this. So I've had a lot of luck when it comes to game hunting, but I'm definitely not like you know some, and I'm only making this video because someone asked me in the comment section. They were like, man, where do you find these games? And I'll be honest with you, a lot of what I've found over this year has been overwhelmingly at GameStop. and, and people, I don't talk about it as much anymore, well, mostly because I haven't really found that much from GameStop in June. I did pick up a bundle over the weekend, but a lot of people think that I'm like an employee there, but that's really the only place that I really find games, because it's the only place outside of like a games like a mom and pop shop that has retro games, and they actually have them for cheaper than what a mom and pop shop would sell them for. So what do I think it takes to be a successful video game hunter in 2025? I think the most important thing you need to successfully hunt video games, specifically retro games in 2025, is I think you need time. I think if you have time, and you can spend time sorting through Facebook Marketplace ads and eBay listings and Mercari listings, if you can spend time driving around your city looking for, yard sales and stuff like that, if you have time, I think that's a crucial piece of being able to find retro games on the cheap. Money, obviously you need money, but it's how you spend money. Like if you can take $500 and buy $1,500 worth of games, as opposed to spending 20 here, 30 here, 40 here. If you can save up your money and try to find like a big lot, then that's probably another really good way of going about it, because now you're basically getting, games for not maybe not necessarily pennies on the dollar, but now you're kind of getting them for 25% of what they would go for on the regular market. So I think those are some things, but I think time is the most important thing. And I think willingness to kind of move around. If you don't have a lot of opportunity in your city, then you got to be willing to like kind of move around. If not, you're just, you're going to be swimming in the same pond as everyone else. So those are just a few things that I've thought of. But let me know what you think down in the comments. What do you think it takes to successfully hunt video games in 2025? And do you think it's more a matter of skill or do you think it's more a matter of luck? I'm interested to know your guys' thoughts. I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. It is Monday. Carpe diem, seize the week. Have a good week and be successful at whatever you're doing. I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.